I must confess that I'm looking nerd fresh. Minty clean like Chris. Sidewalks light up when I step. Batman symbol on my chest. Bruce Wayne fly fresh. So fresh. I'm fresh. Nerd fresh.
More power. Good God.
How could you?
Do nothing. Yeah. Failed all their homework.
BSM. Black shows matter.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
I wish he had said that on the track.
You're gonna throw that at me.
You can always bring it back.
Make me a racist.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Hey, I think all shows matter. Okay, even the crappy ones. Sorry.
I don't like the crappy ones. Not a fan of the crappy ones.
Not a fan of the crappy ones.
No, who likes crappy ones?
What's up, internet world? This is your boys, the Street Nerds, and we are back. We are back. We apologize. We've been out on a sabbatical due to the global pandemic and the health situation going on. You know, like a lot of y'all, we had to take a break and get some things in order. So we, as you can see, are safe and healthy, and we hope that all of you out there are also safe and healthy and taking the proper precautions to make sure that you remain so. We appreciate you tuning back in. We're going to be doing things a little bit different this go-round. But,
a little bit of a different setup.
Yeah, you know, as you see, a little bit different setup. But, you know, real quick, you know, once again, I'm Casino.
I'm Stretch.
It's Casanova, baby.
Hey, you know, we're back at it. So, you know, we got a lot of things to talk about. There's been a lot of stuff going on out there. So, hey, I know one thing that I'm really looking forward to, though, is, Kaz, I'm looking forward to this next season of The Boys coming up.
See, yeah, I wish I had partaken in the watching of the trailer with y'all because I just barely finished it. I was super late on that series, but man, wow.
Crazy, right?
Wow.
First off, just a little anecdote from me. Growing up, I would play with my action figures and my superheroes, and my mom would always give me a bunch of stuff about it, why I had to have them fight and why they couldn't work their stuff out peacefully.
Yeah.
Flash forward, 35 years? And guess who recommended that I watch The Boys? Because she really liked it.
No way.
I am dead serious.
That's
My mom
crazy.
calls me up and she's like, "You gotta watch The Boys. It's really good." And then the first scene is him running through somebody.
Bro.
Yeah.
Blood spray everywhere. Yeah, Mom, you're not allowed to talk about how I played with my action figures anymore. I never blood sprayed any of my action figures.
Okay.
But fun little anecdote. What do you think?
Well, Mama Stretch, you made a great suggestion, in my opinion, because when you told him, of course, he told me,
Yep.
and I was blown away with this show. And I'm a pretty avid comic book reader. I had not read this comic book, so
A few people online, shout out to Casual Comics, they recommended that you check it out. She's actually the only one that I remember that I've watched actively who was kind of telling us about it before the show dropped. So
Okay.
No, I haven't. I haven't even actually read the comic myself.
Yeah, no, and now I'm at the point I do want to go back and read it because this was so good. You know, like most forms of media, if it comes from one and goes to another, they make some changes.
Sure.
So I want to
absolutely.
see what was different. Actually, if any of our watchers out there, if any of y'all read The Boys, the graphic novel comic book, hey, tell us down in the comments what were some of the differences that you noticed. Which one did you like better? You know. But
Yeah, that show left my jaw dropped so many times,
Man.
bro. Like, especially when, you know, Butcher comes in, he's like, oh,
Spoilers
no,
ahead.
Homelander?
Spoilers.
He's like, Homelander? No, he's a saint. He's a choir boy. He doesn't do nothing. So I'm seeing that, and then the way that first episode ended with him taking out Homeboy on the plane, like, whoa.
Yeah,
and then he just became, like, worse and worse. I'm like, you were the worst one.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, for the few of our watchers, I'm sure most of y'all have seen The Boys. But for the few of you that have not, definitely go check this out. If you use any sort of Amazon, whatever, you may have a setup for Prime already. If you don't, that's a pretty good show and reason to get Prime. The Boys is a great show. They got the second season coming out. Is it September 6th?
I think so.
6th?
Yeah.
See, I know that's when Power Book 2 comes out, but if that's when Boys comes out, I'm going to be super busy.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a busy
Super
week.
busy.
That's gonna be a
Busy weekend.
But great show. Check it out. Season 2 looks like it's going to be pretty amazing. They're introducing new characters like that Stormfront character.
Yes.
Now, one thing I did kind of read, and I stumbled upon one of my many other YouTube holes that I fall down into from time to time. I do know that the difference from that in the comic book was I think Stormfront was a guy.
Yes.
In the comic.
Also, Black Noir had a different storyline in the comics.
Yeah, and what was his? He just was always there, and nobody
So-
paid attention to him.
So, spoilers for comics and show. In the show, he's more or less just kind of there as like a Snake Eyes type character.
Yeah, that's what exactly seemed like.
In the comics, it's actually he is a clone of. I completely blanked. Who's the main guy? Homelander. He's a clone of Homelander.
Oh, word? Okay.
And he's supposed to be kind of like the check to Homelander. Like if Homelander goes crazy, they activate Black Noir, and he's supposed to be able to take them out. He has a much deeper involvement in the story that I really don't want to give away because go read the comics and check it out.
Okay.
But yeah, from my own little internet research and following up on it, because I love spoilers, it turns out that there's a different story arc in the comics for Noir and Homelander than what they did in the show.
Check that out. Yeah.
Well, definitely, we're going to have to check out season 2 of The Boys. Definitely, I want to go read the comic books now even more, so thanks for that information.
Yes,
And,
definitely check out the comics.
All right. Speaking of really good comic book shows, well, I don't know about really good, but we'll get to that here in just a second. Season 2 of The Umbrella Academy came out on Netflix during all of this as well. I know both of you guys watched season 1, right?
Yes,
Oh
I
yeah,
have.
man! I binged the heck out of season 2
Kaz
all
is
together
actually-
because man,
Kaz is the only street nerd who has actually seen all of the Umbrella Academy.
totally worth losing a day over. Man, that's what happened. That's what happened. I started off because the way season 1 ended, because I was behind on Umbrella Academy. Y'all kind of brought me up to speed. So I went ahead and took the time, watched the first season, and just the way it ended, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to see this since it's available. Let me watch at least episode 1 of season 2. And after that, I lost a whole day. I was, whoa, episode 10 already? How did I get here? You know,
So
but it happened.
would you say season 2 is definitely like on par or better than season 1, or does it just kind of help to continue the story?
Without giving away too much, it does help continue the story in a bit. But there was so many questions for me that was like, why did we go this route for the season? Several times you think, okay, maybe it's just gonna be a part of the season, and then we're gonna switch it up. But yeah, it was. I wasn't expecting it the way they went. You know what I mean? Because again, I know y'all hadn't really watched it, so yeah, the route they went with it was surprising to me, but it was still really good. But it was confusing in parts, and hopefully season 3 they tie up some loose ends. But yeah,
All right.
season 1 was phenomenal though. That one drugged me in real quick. So.
Okay. No, I season 1 I did enjoy. I have to admit I kind of had to get into it more. Like the first 5 episodes just did not really thrill me that much.
Okay.
But then like right in the middle when they started doing stuff with Ellen Page's character.
Vanya.
Vanya.
And something told me, I was like, you know what? I was like, I bet you she does have something, and that she's just that
dude.
ace up the sleeve that we're not expecting.
When they did what they did with her and they started expanding on her, because a lot of it was just kind of backstory, and I will admit it is very tropey, especially with comic books. There's a lot of kind of retreading of other things that we've seen in other comics. They just kind of took it to a weirder or funnier bent or something like that.
Right.
But like when they start really getting into the time travel, and with her in the first season, like I went through the second half of that like gangbusters. I saw it when it came out, so there wasn't the option for the second season. But I totally feel like if there was the second season available, I would have done the same thing. I just would have just right through it. It is slow to get into, especially the dance scene. Like it's good to watch on YouTube just as a random thing because, everyone's dancing, having fun. But, like, in the middle of the episode, and especially the feelings that were going on at the time, it's like,
right.
Where is this coming from? But,
Right.
okay.
No, absolutely.
But, yeah, I will admit that it was kind of a slow burn getting there. But, man, once they start really getting into it, I ate it up. I really wanted to see what was happening next.
You hit the nail on the head with my problem with the show.
Okay.
And that's why I never finished season 1.
I see.
It was such a slow okay, I remember getting through the first episode thinking like, okay, I get it. You got to give me a lot of the backstory.
This
you
exposition.
Right.
Sure.
Right? So cool. Even with the second episode, I felt like, okay, you're introducing more of the characters, giving us even more. All right, I'm here with you. But when the third episode kicked in, and it was just kind of, once again, more of that, I don't know. It made me get to the point to where, and also there were several other shows I was watching, so it was just for me. It was like
Getting lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, and I just never came back to it. I think I might have got to episode 5 or 4, but also that's another problem I have with shows. I feel like it's one thing for there to be a slow burn where you give me a little bit, but you got to give me enough to get me hooked to keep really coming back. And for me, this just didn't do it.
Right.
Now, hearing what y'all said about how it picks up at maybe about midway, you said?
Yeah, I would say after
absolutely.
the first 4 or
Absolutely.
5 episodes.
Okay.
Like, after that, it just, you got to get to the next episode to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And they were starting to hint to a few things about Vanya.
Vanya, yeah.
They were starting to hint to a few things about her at the point where I was. So maybe I got to episode 4.
Okay.
But it just, because it never really picked up, and it was just really some really long, to me, just long exposition dump episodes.
It was very it was very comic book tropey. I mean, it was just a lot of stuff we had seen in other comic book movies, other comic books that we've read. Just it has not a lot of surprises for it in the beginning, but then after that, like once they say, okay, here's this comic book world, then it takes like a right turn into absurdity and keeps you the whole way. I think. I mean, would you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But see, and the reason why I guess I enjoyed it so much is I had already seen everything else that was going on at the time when it first came out. So y'all got caught up in other stuff. So I had nothing else to watch. I was like, okay, let me dive in and check this out.
It's the only pool in town. It's
But yeah,
a great pool.
the whole time I was like, my spider sense is tingling with Vanya. I was like, there's something more to her. Especially when they were like, oh, I've been on medication ever since this song. I was like, so it's been suppressed. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. But, yeah, no, really, really good show once it picks up, at least in my opinion. But yeah, two is cool, but all over the place in a sense. But and then it brings it back together. One thing I want to comment on, I thought was funny, is especially after watching Endgame and their whole time travel and what they first attempted with Ant-Man, it was funny when 5 comes back as a kid, but he's 58 years old. He's like, I'm older than you right now. You gotta watch the way you talk to me, but he's in a 13-year-old body. Like, it's hilarious.
He did. I'm sorry, that kid actor, because normally, and I think you all will agree with me, kid actors are not the strongest aspect of this movie.
No, he's awesome.
But he just nails it. Like,
absolutely.
I would say he's almost better than the kids in
Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like he captures the emotion.
Well, his dialogue, everything, like his vocabulary is spectacular.
He is a child, not acting like a child.
Yeah.
And not looking like a child, not acting like a child.
Exactly.
Like he totally nails it, and I love that actor.
Now,
I wish I knew what his name was.
That I will say, when they were cutting the episodes that I watched, his story was the most interesting.
Yeah, he's what kept me going through the first season.
Yeah.
No lie, because I just wanted to watch him. Like I didn't even necessarily care about his story, but just watching that actor do his thing.
Well, then it makes me, his power and how he used it makes me wonder the things of like with Nightcrawler. Could Nightcrawler potentially time jump?
Well, if I remember from the comic books, what he's actually doing is traveling through nightmare.
Oh yeah, there's a
dimension.
darker dimension he pops into.
Yeah, so he pops into a whole nother realm or dimension, and then he comes out back into ours, just in a different spot.
So it's like imagine if you're like an onion and you're on the outside. That's our world. He pops into the inside, moves this way, and then pops out, and it's a further direction.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So it's of course complicated.
Just where my mind went when I saw that.
All good. All right, so we Umbrella Academy, I'd say it got like 2 ons out of 3. You know,
Hey, I liked it.
We'll go 2.5.
2.5 But so check it out. It's got two seasons out there apparently. Apparently. Yeah, apparently.
Not that we can prove this or
no way to
anything.
prove it. No way to prove it. Okay, but hey, so somebody said we don't talk about enough of the streets and the street nerds. So we wanted to talk about a show. Speaking of completely ridiculous with lots of tropes, all right? But this is just more street tropes and gangster tropes. We got coming up would you call it another season, or is this a new, well, it's basically a spinoff of Power.
Right.
All right? So, Stretcho's got to catch up with us on this.
I was very bad. I need to watch this.
Now, in Stretcho's defense, I think, what was that? The first series had, 6 seasons?
6 seasons, 10 episodes. Each season's until 6, and then we got 15.
Right. Thank you. All right. So, of course, spoiler alerts aplenty. All right, because if you've never watched Power, this is one of the most ridiculous, craziest gangster shows you will ever watch. It is guilty TV. I don't know how I got into watching it, but I started watching it, and next thing I knew, I was hooked, and I was like, there's so much killing, and there's so
murder
many people doing
and drug
bad
dealing
things.
and
It's just like, how is nobody getting caught? Where are the police? They are just like, they got feds and ATF agents and DEA agents and the DA in the city, all of these people involved, but no one hardly.
Well, all of them is like, we know Tommy's the killer. We know Tommy's the murderer. Well, then how is he getting away with everything?
What's happening? Anyway, Power. All right, so for those of you that watched the end of the original run of Power, so we saw at the end of the season. Big spoiler alerts, okay? So if you haven't watched it, well, should we? Yeah, Look, hey, if you're here watching this and you made it this far, feel free to skip ahead if you don't want to know all of the interesting intrigue of Power here. But, you know. All right, so we found out at the end of the original series, the main antagonist or protagonist, what was he? He was good and bad. So he's a pro-antagonist? Protagonist? Anyway, you figure that part out. So the main guy of the show, Ghost, right? So
James St. Patrick.
He gets killed at the end of the series.
Okay.
So he was the main guy you've been watching through the whole show.
And those last 5 episodes that they added to the 10 in the one season that had 15.
So did they kill him in 10 and then just use 5 episodes
to play Who Shot JR?
Okay.
Who Shot JR?
Who Shot JR? It was the extended
version.
gangster version of Who Shot JR. Who Shot Ghost?
Did he wake up in the shower later on?
No, thank God. I was actually waiting for that.
Everybody's like, he's gonna wake up in the ambulance, and he's gonna.
Oh my God!
I mean,
nothing new, folks.
There were, of course, theories abound all over the internet of who shot him. And
you're telling me the internet came up with a bunch of theories
I
about the show?
Right? It's crazy, B. Nah, so it comes out at the end of the show. You find out that his son is the one that shoots and kills him, but because she doesn't want him to go to jail. The mother takes the rap. And so the mom ends up going to jail and sends the son off to college. Because, of course, Ghost...
Because that's just a one-time thing, right?
It's just a one-time thing.
You kill somebody, that's just a one-time thing.
Yeah, that's it. All right, hey, I'm going to let you off here with this one.
I don't suppose he has another dad or anything.
Well, it's very complicated, and that's why you should watch
the
the show.
Okay, I'm good.
Watch the show.
You know what?
You have my logins.
I'm actually intrigued now. Like, I kind of want to watch
You want to figure out.
Like,
wait, how do you get to the end?
He wants to kill who? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, watch it. Watch Power. But anyway, so that's what we find out at the end of Power, right?
Yeah, so that's how they're setting up book 2.
Yeah.
It's just that he's going on with college and she's in jail, but he's trying to get her out.
Yep.
And Method Man is apparently the top-notch lawyer, and he's like, he wants $500K.
Yeah.
Give me $500,000 and we'll talk. Like, whoa.
Can I Get your mom
This
that
kid is
shit.
like 18 years old
Method
at the
Man?
time. No.
Yeah, the rapper.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I like
He
him.
plays the lawyer, but yeah. So you have Tariq, who's like 18. How you gonna come up with $500,000? You know what I mean? And you just
how does Dad do it, right?
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I get it.
Oh. Took a minute there for the dots to connect on that one. But yeah, no, I'm actually like, I'll be honest. I was not all that happy with the ending, and we talked about this at the time.
Right.
Because I just thought it was like extremely predictable. I thought they would have went with something a little bit more interesting, but. With what we found out when the show ended, the fact that they're doing like 4 spinoffs, they're doing a ridiculous amount.
They're saying they're probably gonna do one with Ghost and Tommy now, where it's like a prequel.
Yeah,
with
prequel.
All that.
They got the prequel about Kanan. So that's gonna be one of them. Now I know they at least they said they were gonna do one a spinoff with Tommy about his adventures.
Oh yeah, going
in
off to Cali.
California.
Yeah.
Right.
Mary Tyler Moore only got 3.
Yeah. No, power, man. 50 Cent swinging for the fences, baby.
Hey man, do what you gotta do. Check this other camera. Keep going.
No,
But,
I think she got 4. I think Mary Tyler Moore got 4.
Did she?
Yeah, she did.
Was it
actually.
4?
Yeah, it was Rhoda, the upstairs neighbor, Lou. Oh no, I guess it was 3. Yeah, because it was Lou, Rhoda, and the upstairs neighbor one.
Okay.
She was like the loser in her own show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
hadn't thought about that one in a long time.
Well, it was like the 70s, so.
Well, yeah, it was all throwback to us even then.
Exactly. Nick at Night.
Man, you know what? I do miss that. Nick at Night.
Well,
just 'cause
now
you can go
Nick
back
at
and
Night
watch.
has all the shows that were on when we were kids, so like Cheers and Night Court and stuff like that. That's all Nick
Yeah,
at
that's
Night.
true. I wouldn't mind going back and watch some Cheers.
Cheers was good.
Yeah.
Night Court was better.
Well, I don't know what for some reason, did the quality get bad faster than Cheers? Or did they just give Cheers more shots? Because I remember Cheers like being really good, then it got bad for a little bit, then it got really good again.
Well, with Cheers, the only thing that I think saved it was the fact that Shelley Long left. And they were able to completely revamp the show without really changing it. It wasn't about an ex-ball player, alcoholic, owning a bar, trying to get with his head waitress. Now Sam sold his bar. He's the subordinate to an 80s power woman.
Yeah.
It allowed them to change the dynamic of the show without overall changing the show, and I think that's what allowed them to have 6 more seasons after Shelley Long left. Because once they got married, they were going to have a kid, and then that's it.
Yeah.
They would get 2 seasons tops.
Yeah.
Out of that.
So yeah, I guess you're right. So it just allowed it to
It just allowed it to change a little
into
bit.
something new without changing the overall aesthetic of the show.
While keeping it. Night Court, yeah, it did kind of tail end at the end there, but I think just because they had kind of run out of ideas by
what
that
to do.
point. I mean, how many weird court cases can you have before you got to up the ante every time? So
True.
anyway,
That's true.
nice little side.
But so yeah, how we kind of even got into that was the fact that like Power is. It looks like they're having at least I know for sure 3 spinoffs, maybe a 4th one.
That's good for Power.
Yeah.
Now I gotta watch it.
Yeah, now you gotta watch it.
anything that makes that much TV after it's already been on. I gotta watch it.
But it looks like it's got a great cast. Method Man, who's actually I think a pretty decent actor.
Oh yeah.
I liked him
He's
in
been doing this
everything.
thing for a while.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige is in it. I haven't really seen her acting in too much, so I can't really.
Her being in the Umbrella Academy threw me off.
Oh,
that
dude!
I was like,
she was in that.
That's Mary, right? And I just went ahead and Googled it. It was blew my mind.
Mary J. Blige. She was.
Rumor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, you know what? I thought she did a good job in that.
Yeah,
The
no,
little
she
bit
did
that I
great.
saw.
She did
Yeah.
great.
So-
she was. I mean.
So I saw her in the preview of the trailer for the Ghost Book
So
2.
what is she like? The mom? She's the mom.
No. The mom is played. Anyway, well, that's
She
another
probably
story.
smacked
I
my
can't remember
face
that.
if I had said that.
No.
Wait, is she the mom?
No, Naturi is the mom, and she's fine too. So yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you know.
You know that was the girl from 3LW, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she played Lil Kim in Notorious.
Yep. I thought she actually did a decent job.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so Power Book 2. This looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting ride. It's basically, it seems like it's going to be about the rise of Tariq,
Right.
as the new plug,
New Ghost.
right? As Ghost Part 2.
When does that come out?
September 6th, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah.
I
That
mean-
one is September 6th.
So
Okay,
I
so
really
that
do
one
need
is
to
for
watch.
sure.
Okay, 6 seasons, 10 episodes, plus 15 on the last one. That's what, 60, 75
Yeah,
episodes?
it's 75 episodes of
You
Tales.
know,
cake.
you got it.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
5 hours.
That's I don't mind cutting my evening short.
Ah!
Man. One thing I never got into, though, unfortunately, was Empire. I heard that they were apparently in competition with Power this entire
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And I never, because it's on Fox, so I felt like it's going to be more watered down. And, you know, they're not going to show everything, you know.
When
They-
Fox is the watered down network.
I know, right? Because they used to be the risque ones, and now
Fox was where you went for TNA, man.
yeah, bro, between Married with Children
So
and Family
different now
Guy
from
and
when
stuff
I
like
was-
that.
when we were growing up. It's
Yeah.
like, what happened? Anyway, back to Empire.
Yeah, no, Empire. I never watched an
We're not
episode.
going to talk politics on this channel. Y'all do that anywhere else you want to. We're just saying how Fox's content has changed.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
no,
That's
nothing
it.
about any of the political
Yes.
stances or whatever. Just there's definitely a shift from Fox's content in the '90s to
Yeah.
Fox's content
To
now.
today. That's it.
That's all. That's all we're
That's
saying.
it. Please don't. Please not. No. Thanks. All right.
Yes.
So Empire. You couldn't
Empire.
get into it.
Empire. Yeah, I never had a chance to really get into it because I did the streaming for so long. I didn't have cable.
Yeah.
Not even basic cable.
Yeah,
you know,
sure. Yeah,
no
cut the
antenna,
cord.
no nothing. So I just didn't watch it, and then caught wind about Power first, and then I'm just knowing again if it's on primetime television, it's gonna be a little bit more edited.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and actually, I want to
and
say.
I like my gangsters raw and rough.
Yeah. Well, no, I want to say Power was out before Empire.
It was?
I
Okay.
think so. I will have
If it's
to.
been
Because I just remember
seasons.
50 Cent and Tajiri, they were going at it on social media for a minute over
Right.
it. So
I think what that was Power was either into their second or third season when Empire
Gotcha.
launched, and so then they kind of became like a dueling show because they were similar in certain subject matter and things.
I just
like
remember
that.
he's got a homeboy Iron Man.
Oh man.
Oh yes.
You know what? Speaking
out
of
Terrence
that,
Howard.
shout out Terrence Howard. You know what? Look. Let's go ahead and segue into this. All right. So, I don't know how y'all feel about them leaving Iron Man. He was gonna be War Machine Man. I'm a little upset about that. But if you're gonna replace someone as excellent as Terrence Howard, who better than the Cheetah?
Mr.
You
Don.
know, no offense to Mr. Terrence, but I gotta admit, I actually prefer Don Cheadle
Well,
as War Machine.
You know what? Look, of course you prefer Don Cheadle.
Well, what?
Don Cheadle.
What?
Don Cheadle
What?
is a American gift to everybody.
Well, yes.
Okay, Don Cheadle.
He should have been the one first. I'm sorry. Should've
Well,
cast it first.
I'm sure Don Cheadle had some things going on. Okay. Look, I am a huge for you out there. I am a huge Don Cheadle fan. Okay, he is one of the best actors ever.
Also got one of his early starts in Night Court as well. He's in an
Yeah.
episode of that.
Take
What?
it back.
Yep.
Wow. I'm going to have to go back and binge
He,
Night Court.
Yeah, man.
'Cause I love my Boo
I think
Buchanan.
he tries to rob a therapy session that Roz is having with everybody. If I'm remembering the actual
wow.
episode.
Now I have to go back and find this.
He just plays this skinny little kid, and he comes in there.
I loved Roz. She was
And
the best.
Roz just hands him his butt. It is so great watching her.
Man, I
just
gotta go back and
own
watch that.
him.
That is awesome.
And he does a great job. I mean, he does this great job of looking like a scared kid who's in over his head, which
Yeah.
is kind of what the episode was showcasing. But oh man, just watching Roz lay into him was the best.
I've been a Don Cheadle fan. There's a movie that came out. I want to say it was like the mid-90s. It's called Devil Wears a Blue Dress. It was based on this book written by, I want to say that guy's name was Walter Mosley. He wrote a series of books about this black detective in Los Angeles in the 40s. It was after.
Oh wow.
I want to say it was either the 30s or the 40s.
So not the time to be a black detective in
Yeah,
Los
no,
Angeles.
yeah, definitely not. But he wrote a series of these books. I can't remember. I think they were the Easy Rollins books. I want to say that's what it is. If you know out there, correct me down in the comments if I got it wrong. But so this movie came out in the mid '90s. It's called Devil Wears a Blue Dress, and Don Cheadle plays this character named Mouse.
Okay.
And Mouse was really small, but everybody was scared to death of him.
Always be scared of the little guys.
Exactly.
Oh, hey.
And that's why it always stood out to me, because I remember watching that character being like, and then Don Cheadle played him, and he would just like snap in the middle of it was almost like the Joe Pesci scene.
Okay.
From Goodfellas,
Jeez.
where he would just be joking and very jovial and funny,
Right.
and then just turn and kill you.
Right.
And then go back to joking and laughing and playing around, and it was just like I was amazed at that. And then since then, I followed Don Cheadle, and man, I love that guy. So while it was sad to see Iron Man go, I'm sorry, Terrence Howard. I mean, Don Cheadle was a pretty darn good replacement. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah. Like I said, I liked Don Cheadle's portrayal of Rhodey. I really believed that he was, a friend to a guy who is very difficult to be a friend to.
Yeah.
And I feel like that comes across even in like Iron Man 2 and the Avengers
Right.
and stuff. Like, it can't be easy being Tony's friend.
No, not at all.
And then he gets an iron suit, a power suit, and goes zipping around your like demilitarized zones and
Right.
crap. Like, and then lying to you about it.
Yeah.
And then you got to in turn go and lie to the American people about him lying to you about having a super suit. It just can't be easy being Iron Man's friend.
It's not easy being.
And I feel
Iron
like Don
Man's
Cheadle's really portrays that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess you'd see Terrence more like flipping out on Tony after a while. I'm like, man, what you doing, man?
Well, yeah, I mean, although I do want to see
Tony, man, what you doing?
I do want to see how Terrence would have handled that whole Iron Man 2 fight. I think that would have been funny.
Yeah, now that would have been great. You know what? Man, that's tough. Because seeing Terrence Howard, like, imagine him through the rest of
Suplexing
the
Iron Man.
Imagine him through the rest of the MCU. They broke my legs, man. It shot me in the chest, man. Sorry, Terrence Howard. Maybe next time.
Seeing as how there's that connection now between Terrence Howard and Don Cheadle's, I'm wondering if we can do a real quick little, what is it, 7 degrees?
6 degrees.
6 degrees
Separation
Ooh.
with Kevin Bacon. So can we get to Don Cheadle's?
Okay.
Can we
How
get
many-
Don
how many
Cheadle's
steps?
to Kevin Bacon in how many steps?
Oh, man. Okay. All right, let me think.
This is the Street Nerds first, folks.
Okay. All right. Don Cheadle to Kevin Bacon. That's the shortest route. Okay. So Don Cheadle was in Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones.
Okay.
Tommy Lee Jones was in. Tommy Lee Jones has been in everything.
Everything since the 70s.
Oh man, it's got to be right there because Kevin Bacon has to have been in something with somebody from that horrible Batman movie.
I feel like y'all got this
Tommy
before I
Lee
do.
Jones was in.
All right. Well, for those of you in the comments, leave your degrees between Kevin Bacon and Don Cheadle's, and we'll review it. And
I'm gonna come back to this
the
before
first
this episode is over.
the first person who gets it in 4 moves or less gets an applause from us.
Golf clap.
So yes, put your 6 degrees of separation in the comments below, and we are going to move on to.
Person that gets it in the shortest amount will give you a shout out on the next show. And you never know. Maybe eventually we can get some merch or something. With
Street Nerds merch.
Or something
Yes,
like
we'll
that.
definitely give you a shout out, and we will clap for you.
Hey.
Yeah. Golf clap. Alright,
But
so-
let's talk some Marvel news since you all have been
Oh,
doing
good
over
Lord.
the street thing over here. I want to pop in and be relevant again.
It's like, let's talk about something I know something about.
Right. Let's do some Marvel news.
So much Marvel news.
So much Marvel news.
Lots of stuff has happened since the last we were here.
Most recently, sad news for Marvel fans, and
we're gonna take a minute here.
many fans of other movies, but still, just I mean, he was a key role as Black Panther. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman.
Wakanda forever.
Yes,
Forever,
indeed.
man.
You truly
That
were
was-
a king among men.
To be doing everything he did while battling cancer, didn't tell nobody nothing.
It's
Just-
amazing.
Did you remember
Man.
there was a post he made a while back, and everyone was freaking out because he had lost so much weight. And
Right.
they were thinking it was for a movie and stuff. And
Yeah, because 50 Cent lost way bunch weight for a movie he did that ended up just being like straight to DVD.
Yeah.
But it was like a role that was serious to him because like one of his friends had died of cancer, so he wanted to portray what his friend looked like. And I know actors have lost weight for it before too, so that's
Yeah.
why I wasn't hating on him. I was like, maybe it's a role, but yeah, now hearing this,
to
total
be going
shock,
through
total
it
blow.
by himself, man. That just, I mean, in silence. I don't know if it was by himself. I'm sure he had his friends and family, and hopefully he did. But I mean, you know, it's not that it is any of our business, but just the fact that he, like, I feel like so many other celebrities might have just come out and said it, or
Right.
maybe tried to get some
Sympathy for it.
or something
Yeah.
like that. But he did it, man. He was stoic, and
Yeah.
anyways, it's a shame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
was a big-
definitely
big
rest
loss.
in peace to Chadwick Boseman. Best wishes to his friends and family and everybody out there, and anybody affected by his passing. I know, definitely, I saw a ton of posts on social media of people who were very affected by his passing. Lots of young children, lots of young black children, and all sorts of kids were very affected by the loss of him. You know, and for many kids, he was the first, major black superhero they'd seen on the big screen like
Right.
that in that sort of presentation. So
Yeah.
this affected a lot of people, and that was extremely sad news. Just was. I as soon when my friend texted it to me, I literally had to go and look online to make sure that was accurate. That was one of those
I
things.
saw it on Facebook and had to do the same
Yeah.
thing because I was like, this is so out of left field.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly though, 2020 we can't really rule out anything. So
Yeah,
this has
absolutely.
just been the year.
This has been the year of effery.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to leave it.
Tomfoolery.
The tomfoolery.
The tomfoolery years.
Well, as hard it is to segue on from that, the other major Marvel news going on is, of course, the delays. All of the delays.
So many delays.
Movies delayed.
Due to
TV
the
shows.
Falcon
delayed.
and Winter Soldier were supposed to come out this month.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it'll be the 31st on Monday, and no Winter Soldier and Falcon. Like,
Yeah, and
So-
that was one of the ones I was really looking forward to. 'Cause I wanted to
Absolutely.
see the continuation of Captain America's story.
Yeah.
I wanted to see them bring in John Walker, the U.S. agent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, I was
Yeah.
here for it. I was here for it.
It's a shame, but Black Widow looks pretty cool.
I mean, they're pushing her back to November.
Yeah.
So
She is getting a theatrical release.
yeah,
Yes.
they're adamant about that. They
Good,
really want to
'cause
do that.
It would really do some injustice to her. and her
Absolutely.
character if they just segued her to straight to streaming. That would be really an injustice to her.
And you know what? It's actually a pretty smart move because if things do lessen a bit, if things calm down a little bit more,
Please.
then that will definitely make a lot of money.
Yes.
And
Oh,
it will
yeah.
do the character the justice that it's deserved.
But she
And
needed-
Scarlett Johansson, she put in a lot of work.
Absolutely.
She's been in the MCU since the second movie.
Yeah, almost as long as Tony.
Yeah, so I think it would be an injustice to not allow the character and the actress and everything get the accolades it deserves and the shine from this. But interestingly enough, and I haven't seen it yet, and I've heard really mixed reviews so far. But New Mutants made $7 million this weekend.
I saw that it was released recently. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw
You
that.
can't believe it, considering that all
Right.
of those actors and actresses are about 5 years older now.
Yeah.
But
Well, because we even went ahead and I was like, just for S's and giggles, let me go ahead and see the time slots. They had it so spaced out, I guess, to do deep cleaning after. Like, they only had a 4 p.m. showing and a 10 p.m. showing.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, same thing with, like, Bill and Ted. That
Yeah.
was released this past weekend. So, same thing. This limited showings, but to still be able to bring in that much money, that's awesome. Good for them.
Absolutely. So I mean, you know, even though things were delayed, it looks like they're slowly they're ramping everything back up. So hopefully, pretty soon we'll get Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm still really, really, really looking forward to WandaVision.
Yes.
Because apparently that's going to segue into the next Doctor Strange movie.
Right.
Multiverse of Madness.
Man,
Cannot wait.
and for anybody that has, even if you haven't read a lot of Doctor Strange, maybe you just might have read a lot of the Marvel annuals or different team-ups, Doctor Strange always brought some of the more, like, just off-the-wall elements to any story that he was in. That's when they were really either dealing with some super cosmic issues or, like, way off supernatural things.
Like old, real old god stuff.
Yeah.
I just hope they continue with the horror theme that they were talking about.
Yes.
Because if you even just give me a slight bit of, like, the Mysterio freak-out scene with Spider-Man towards the end of that movie, like, that was so awesome. Give me that.
it.
Give me, that's what I'm saying, the
Totally
skeleton Iron Man coming out of the grave and
Yeah.
everything. Give me. It was
I
great.
mean,
That
look,
was there.
In Marvel Comics, it's established that the Marvel Zombies does occupy a universe
Nice.
in there. So
Nice.
if Doctor Strange goes tripping around the multiverse, which, I mean, they've said it in the title, Multiverse of Madness, so he is going to be going to different universes. It's altogether possible he could run into the Marvel Zombies.
That'd be
I mean,
dope. That would be
Like,
dope.
they're there. They're in. It's already established that they have a universe designated to them, that they are the zombie
That's
universe.
awesome.
So
I love it.
I can
Absolutely.
totally do that.
And kind of messing around with the theory stuff here. One theory that I heard, I definitely didn't come up with it, but one theory that I heard is that may be the route how they introduce mutants and different things. Is through him messing around in different multiverses and either changing ours by contact with these different ones, or what we've been watching, we think is one universe, they flip it and it's going in a different direction, and hence the mutants come about. So I don't know. It could be some pretty cool stuff to introduce.
It all hinges on WandaVision, though.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. Like,
Absolutely.
a lot of these answers are gonna get answered in WandaVision because they're gonna up her power level even more than what we've already seen. Because I think this is the one where we're gonna see her really do reality warping, like from what she does in the comics.
Yeah.
And if you've read the comics or anything with Wanda in the comics, the best stories she's in are when she just makes reality go sideways.
Absolutely. The best ones for that, I'd say, of course, House of X
House of M.
is the main one for those of you to really see, like, the
House of
depths of her. Sorry, yeah, House of M.
Only because House of X is a totally other thing.
Yeah. And that's why I flipped it up in there.
Normally
Yeah.
I wouldn't care, but like that's two different things.
Oh, no. We need to care because y'all care. All right, but House of M. That's a great
House
story
of M,
to watch.
when she marries Vision back in
Oh,
the 80s with her
yes,
kids, because I
yes.
think they're going to be taking a lot from that.
Yeah, it does look like that with
From,
all of the various. It looks like she's in different sitcoms throughout the decades.
Different family sitcoms.
Yeah, family sitcoms.
That's
I want to see her in the traditional costume as well.
Oh, God bless.
I wonder if there would have
Amen.
been. I wonder if there would have been a problem since she's an Olsen. Why they couldn't have done the Full House? Why they didn't do that? Like a playoff of that. Remember the setup of the Full House?
Yeah, So I think somebody went through and it's like Donna Reed,
I
the
know for
Brady
sure.
Bunch.
Yeah,
But then
one looked like Roseanne.
one was Roseanne and the other one was Family Ties. for the
Family
80s.
Ties. Okay.
Because of how they have the stairs going up in the weird architecture of the living room. And yeah, you're right. It totally should have gone for Full House, considering she is now the Olsen sister that we actually care about. But to that end,
Whoa.
I have a little gripe, a little grind my gears moment if I can here. And
Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
Just take the show and make it my own here. But Fuller House, I know I'm a little late to this, but it is on Netflix if you really want to see it. Shut up. If you really want to see it, check it out. But there is something about that show that really ticked me off, and since we're talking about the Olsen twins, it seems like a good time to do it. In the opening of that, when they brought everybody back, and there's a scene when they're like talking about where the actual sister is, like, because everybody's back.
Where's
for the
Michelle?
show.
Where's
Michelle? Where's Michelle? Why isn't Michelle here?
Which one? Oh,
And they're like,
Michelle was the one that
played by
Mary
the
Kate
Olsen
Ashley.
twins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, and she goes, oh, Michelle's up in New York, like, with her own clothing line. She didn't have time to come down here. And, like, all the actors look at the camera with this, like, we all showed up. Why didn't you? The Olsen twins grew up on that show. Okay, they went from age 0 to 6 on that show. They don't owe you all anything. Okay, you all want to sit there and look at the camera like, where are you? No, they don't owe you a damn thing. Okay, the Olsen twins have paid their dues to Full House, and they don't need to show up to Fuller House. Okay, leave them alone. They spent their entire childhood in front of the camera. Okay, leave it.
Ticked
Leave
off
it
the
alone.
wizard.
I'm saying, man, it's like, because
He said F Fuller House.
well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to be demonetized.
Well,
but
that's why it's F.
F
Fuller House.
I'm sorry,
You
that
failed on the report card.
got me. And we all watched. Don't lie. You can sit there and no, I didn't watch Full. No, we all watched Full House.
I watched Full House,
it was
but I didn't get
on-
past that first episode of Fuller House.
No,
After
yeah.
that, I was done.
You watched. Everybody watched it. It was on forever.
GIF. Come on.
Everybody watched that show.
I watched Family Matters.
Yes, absolutely.
Well,
that
yes.
came on right after.
We all watched Family Matters, especially for what was her name?
Laura.
Yes.
Yes.
No, not Laura. Well, not me.
Laura in the later years. I'm
No.
sorry.
No, Myra.
Oh yeah, Myra, man,
Steve
man,
is such an idiot.
bruh.
Myra, all
Bruh.
day. Team Myra.
Rest in peace, Myra.
All right.
But anyway, back to your Fuller twins.
No, that was it. That was my whole thing. Just leave the Olsen twins alone. They have done their bit for God and country. Let them be.
And on that note,
Well, we hope the Olsens are healthy.
Are we
out
street
there.
nerds enough yet?
oh,
Yeah, this is a great way to end our comeback episode of Street Nerds TV with a rant about the Olsen twins.
Yeah.
Check out Power and no, Justin doesn't like the Fuller House.
oh my God, love
Oh man! All right. Well, hey. On that note, we're definitely gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. We appreciate you checking us out. Don't forget, go and like the page, Street Nerds TV. You can go and like us on Facebook. Follow us. We got some pretty good memes and jokes and stuff going on all the time. Hey, we appreciate y'all's support. Keep tuning in. Peace.
Stay safe. Wakanda forever.
it. Wakanda forever.
I'm fresh, nerd fresh, so fresh.